Hi everyone, I'm Miss Barnhill. For the English ACT portion, make sure that you study punctuation, subject-verb agreement, parallelism, idioms, and just make sure that you do a simple Google search of what's on the English ACT. Good luck!
The most important thing about the ACT is time management. And take your time and do as many questions as you can. If you need to guess the same letter all the way through. Always choose A or always choose B. Don't skip around and make Mickey Mouses. The other thing is make sure that you get a good night's sleep, because the ACT is boring and it is tiring and it is mentally exhausting. Don't get a bunch of caffeine. Only drink caffeine during your break. Not in the morning, because then you're going to crash at like 9:30, and that's like right in the middle of, I think, the math test. And the math teachers might have a heart attack, so. Oh, and some people might say that social studies is not on the ACT, but it is in the reading passages. So you better do good on the reading. Thank you.
Go to bed on time. That means 10 o'clock and no later. Eat breakfast, something besides a bunch of greasy stuff at the McDonald's drive-thru. Wear layers. You never know. It could be hot, it could be cold, depending on whose room you're in. And do your best. Answer every daggone question, even if you're not sure. Answer it.
All right, make sure you get a lot of rest before the ACT. On the math section, concentrate on the first 40 questions. And then guess the fifth answer on the ones you don't know. On the science section, read all the highlighted things, study the charts, and it's all in front of you, just like reading all the answers on the paper. You just got to find them. Have a good day.
So, hey, I'm Mr. Hammonds. I'm here to give you some ACT math tips. My biggest advice, especially while we're still able to use the TI Inspires, would be to take advantage of InSolve and Polyroots. The first 25 questions on the ACT are the easiest 25, but they're also mostly just linear algebra with a little bit of algebra too, so maybe a touch of quadratics. And most of those questions can be done with InSolve and PolySolve, so that would be my tip for the ACT.
Well, two things in English. I find that a lot of students answer no change way more often than they should. We get used to reading things that aren't perfect, so we kind of read over. We read for meaning instead of reading for grammar. So actually you need to correct a lot more sentences than your gut kind of tells you that you do. You shouldn't have more than maybe 5% of the answer no change or no correction on the ACT. So that's one big one. And you know, a lot of it too is just sort of calming down and feeling confident, and you know, eating breakfast and getting up on time, and you're going to be fine. I mean, the world is not going to end if you don't do well on the ACT. You'll have other chances. And you know, try and remember everything you've learned. If you're going to cram for anything, which is never recommended, on the English part of the test, by far the most commonly tested concept is commas. So if you've got you a little ACT prep book and you haven't looked at it yet and you're thinking, what one thing can I do? Read the commas chapter. That will make the single biggest difference in your grade.
Okay, here's some tips to be successful on the ACT. The first thing I would say is definitely get a good night's rest. Eat a good breakfast the next morning before you come to take the ACT. Also, if at all possible, make sure that while you're taking the ACT that you're timing yourself, making sure you're working at a good pace. If the time is called and you're not completely finished, then mark your answers for the rest of the questions that are there, because you do get credit for the questions that you get correct. So that would be a good tip to use. Usually on multiple choice tests like that you have the answer of A, B, C, and D. B and C are good choices if you're guessing. Then you also need to get with ACT, if you sign up using one of the vouchers that we offer here, then you can actually enroll in the program later on to get your test back or your answers back and be able to look at the things that you may need some help with and need a target practice on. So that's something good to do. We also through the fee waiver, there's a program where you can actually have practice tests and that sort of thing. I think maybe even the Khan Academy offers some free prep material for those who are using waivers. Also, there are if you're wanting prep information, it is a service that you have to pay for, but there is a group, actually 2 ladies from London, I think it's called Class 101, that you can sign up for. They have a group that's on Facebook, and they offer ACT prep classes. But most importantly is just to relax, give things your best shot, make sure you've had plenty of rest, and that you're well prepared on test day.